a little off. There was something about, there was a certain congruity to his feminine body.
This is the most titillating situation!
All right.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Yeah, so to begin with, it brings it back now. It's one of the guys that killed him. Which leads me to expect who, out of the guys, who killed him. I know it wasn't us because we were just chilling for the most part.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Oh crap, yeah, that's right.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
But I don't think Byakuya is that strong to lift up a dumbbell, of all things.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya is the killer?
It can't be. I'm telling you, that dumbbell is someone's okay.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Okay.
But
now that narrows it down to one of the guys. And I'ma just put my suspicions out here. After what I've seen, it could either be Mondo strong enough or Takeda. Those are the only two. After I seen what they're able to do, I think it could be one of them.
I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
Yeah. My camera's been off a little bit recently. Don't like it.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
There we go.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Yeah, that would make perfect
Plus,
sense.
the evidence he left behind was a little too, how can I put it, overt.
Overt? What does that word
He
even mean?
consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Okay, that's either we're right, or he's just being
And
silent.
Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
Yeah.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Bro, you know something that I just don't.
Mark it as correct?
Because I feel like Byakuya, because he did go off somewhere else. Am I not mistaken?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Oh, he doesn't cuss.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead, find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear
I'm not
Byakuya
trying
did
to
it.
die.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
I need every.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
And I don't want that.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
No, he doesn't. What is he, 21, right?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Oh yeah, and Sakura's able to pick that up. Well, she can't go in the boys' locker room, so.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
The scene of the crime. Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have to use their own, okay? In other words, it had to be a guy. But it's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Okay. All right, what are we doing here? Make your argument. Celeste account.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man! Game over!
Yay! No! Not game over!
All right.
Perhaps someone saw the victim.
Yeah.
It's over. You want to know who saw the killer?
And only the killer.
Oh, he was. Yo, Celeste saw him. Celeste saw Chihiro.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see.
I forgot all about it. I don't know why.
Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd. Chihiro
Get going
told
in
me
a hurry.
he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
Who would have been waiting? Who would he want to?
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
I think I know who.
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
That would make sense, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No, you already have what you need to make the connection.
Yeah, man. I think I know who. Mondo, don't tell me you did it, bro. Don't tell me. You could be the only other person.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously? Who is it? Who's the killer?
Mondo, don't do this, bro.
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Okay.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask,
I'm gonna listen to this first.
why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Wait, did we say anything about a blue tracksuit?
Shoot!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
No one said nothing about a blue tracksuit, right? How would you know that?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
How did he know it was a blue tracksuit? Mondo. Oh, Mondo. Mondo, don't make me right. Please prove me wrong.
What'd I say?
Blue. You said blue.
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said
a tracksuit. Oh my God, you're dead. You're dead. I saw him stuffing a track jacket in a duffel bag. What does it say blue at anywhere? And I assume he was heading off to go exercise.
she never said anything about the jacket's color.
Oh my God, you're done for. You're done.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
Bro. Oh.
What are you? You just...
Oh no, the turntables are turning.
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue?
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
No one had known about the blue tracksuit that you just mentioned.
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
What did you do, bro?
Because I just...
Spit it out.
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it.
Because no one else saw it.
The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
She likes to give nicknames, apparently. And why are you still Genocide Jill?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Ugh, you see that? Ugh.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to
It was
Celeste's
in
testimony...
the. It was in the bag. It was in the. Ooh, that. Oh my God. This reminds me of Takken music for sure. Oh my God. It was in the tracksuit. She stuffed the jacket in her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. So why would she have it in her hand?
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
So why'd you kill her is my question. And if it's because, oh Lord, I don't even know what to say to that. What emotion did you have towards that little man?
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Very much so.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Okay,
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's because of the way he talks. It's because of the way he
There
talks.
was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently.
I think he said little dude or something along the lines of that, or bro.
You only call guys dude. For girls,
Yeah.
it's chick.
Yeah.
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude.
Oh no, oh Lord.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You noticed such a tiny detail?
I love that drop.
Are you a
Oh
witch?
my
She's a
God.
witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Dude, let's just call Chihiro. Didn't you give Chihiro a promise as a man at some point? Bro, what did you do? And what were you feeling? Oh, nah, man.
Mondo, was it really you?
Nah,
Did you really
man.
kill Chihiro?
And if so, how'd you know about the Genocide Jack or Genocide Jill copycat? Like, were you in the archive at one point?
I
Oh, nah, man. You should have just stayed silent from the beginning.
didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
You barely said anything.
What gives
man?
you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
And oh my, Takeda's your bro. He's like one of your second bros.
It's true.
One
My
of your first
reasoning on
bros.
that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come.
Oh my god, your voice. Okay, let's see what you got to say.
What my little ghost friend is telling me.
Okay, let's see what you got to say.
Oh,
Hifumi.
yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
That's either Chihiro's missing handbook or Chihiro's missing a handbook.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
It's Chihiro's.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
Yep. Let me go ahead.
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
Now, if he's saying they're really indestructible, what makes them turn off?
For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Oh, the weak point. Yep.
I got it!
He said there was a
You
weak
already
point to
told us
it.
before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that?
Yeah.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
Okay.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
Yeah, because you're the only one that knows.
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is...
All right, what
when
is
it's
it?
exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Okay.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
Yeah, that would make
The
sense.
temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Okay, that was good to know, but Mondo, we're on Mondo right now.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
That's because, wasn't he in the sauna at one point and his probably broke? That would make a lot more sense, would it not?
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
Way by accident, because they were in a sauna.
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Mondo, when he was challenging Takeda?
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah.
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Yeah, wore all their clothes into the sauna. Oh, we're doing this again? Which way is he at? Look at your face, you guilty bastard.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Because you challenged him. Or he challenged you.
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Yeah, that definitely did happen.
And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
Bro, I understand it. You want to protect your friend, but this ain't happening. This is happening. Not. I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
I'm sure Mondo handbook broke during the sauna showdown. The card reader. The card reader.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
I had to think about it real quick.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually...
Let's test
So it's
Makoto's
not-
assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
So,
in other words,
it's
if
either
Mondo's
broken e-handbook.
is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Because I think he broke his handbook, used Leon's, broke Leon's.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Oh, the mailbox! I forgot. I completely forgot.
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
He broke Leon's.
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own.
Okay.
After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's.
So he swapped. Sorry. So he swapped handbooks with Leon, then broke Leon's? Oh, wait, no. He swapped, yeah.
Which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's. Yes?
Yeah.
But
He just
doesn't
swapped
that
them. He never
violate
broke
the school
another one.
regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
It's not loaning, it's borrowing at this point since Leon's dead.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so.
You done got caught, nigga.
I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong!
He's right. He's right.
You are wrong! You have to be wrong!
Sorry. I'm not.
Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
He's trying to protect his bro when his bro's already dead.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.